Welcome to Wrestling Around this week. We have got a Wrestling Around first on the show for you this week. But before we get into what is the Wrestling Around first, it is the turns of Terry Peters. Ross is in trouble. That's all I'll say on that matter. He's very much in trouble. And there is the turns of Lew Markham. Lew, how are we doing this week?
I'm very good. I really enjoyed Turning Point 2004, Terry. It was a really good pay-per-view.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's not often we do TNA. We'll get again. You can probably see what's gone on, but we'll get to it in a minute. And we are also joined by Aaron Franklin. Aaron, how are we doing this week?
I'm very well, thanks, Terry. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I've dropped a bollock, to say the least.
I've dropped a bollock. So you've dropped your only bollock.
Well, there we go. I'm now testicleless. So, well, as you can see, we are doing Turning Point 04. However, I didn't do Turning Point 04. I watched half of Final Resolution 2005. So I'm presenting the show this week with the card in front of me, having not watched this show. So all the insight is from Lew and Aaron this week. Ross, we don't know if he's even watched it, but so this is a Wrestling Around first. We've got somebody. It's finally happened after what, 85 shows?
This is episode 85.
85 shows that we have watched the wrong. Well, I have watched the wrong thing.
Well, at least you've watched something this week, Terry.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Good. That's true. I did watch something this week. So,
well, maybe you can just give us the opinion of your matches, and we'll just do we'll do a Wrestling Around first. We'll do two shows in one.
Interestingly, the first two of the first combatants in the first match. We may as well just jump into it But first of all, it was in the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida on the 5th of December, 2004, with an attendance of just 700 people, which is small for a pay-per-view, but the Impact Zone was just the same on it week in, week out. So
it felt bigger.
It looked big, didn't it?
Yeah.
If you consider you consider NXT is in a similar setup.
Well, I was going to say, when you look at what original NXT was like, where it was all at Full Sail, I guess it's kind of that vibe, isn't it? Where everything was at the Impact Zone. Were we on the six-sided ring still at this point, or had we?
We sure were.
Right, excellent. Yeah. Thoughts on the six-sided ring just before we get into it?
I hate it.
Oh, Aaron?
I don't mind it.
I actually don't mind it either.
I think it just looks too small.
It's a kiddie playpen, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Rinky-dink kiddie playpen. I love it. Hulk Hogan.
The one thing I will say is when you're whipping somebody into the ropes and they bounce off one rope, you don't really know which way it's going to go. So I do think camera work is a little bit shoddy on that front. That's the only thing I will say about it.
It just looks different for the sake of being different. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know they got it from Mexico, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think I love it. I hate it, but apparently it was harder to land on as well.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. So AJ Styles said it was just impossible to land on. Yeah. Well, I don't know why. I don't know how there must be some sort of physics thing that makes it.
I guess I imagine the ropes are smaller on each side.
Yes, I guess they got to support it more underneath, haven't they? But, yeah.
I guess the ropes are quite, and I guess the surface is probably smaller than the ring as well. So. But yeah, so we are in the Impact Zone. The Tim Pot Zone. And the tagline for the pay-per-view was Destiny Awaits. And the poster's got a nice picture of Monty Brown on it. There we go. Do we remember him from his WWE ECW days?
Marcus Covon?
Yeah.
Sure do.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind him in WWE.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened, just left randomly, didn't he?
He was there for sort of a year when he didn't really get a chance, which was a shame because I
thought there was something that happened in his personal life which meant he just left. He just quit wrestling.
I liked him. I thought he was good, and I liked the pounce as well, which I'm sure you two have watched. So I haven't.
It's a hell of a move.
A hell of a show. Right, so we are going to get into it then. So the first match is very similar to Final Resolution.
We need to go through the video package first.
Sorry, because I've not watched this. Hit me with the video package.
Well, I think I might have a different opinion to me, but for me, this was the worst opening video package to a pay-per-view of all time. So it was Macho Man, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles taking the match really seriously, showing how much they love wrestling. But it was interspersed with clips of, and I'm not even making this up just because you think I'm taking a piss because you haven't seen the show. Jeff fucking Jarrett.
Oh no,
Kevin Nash. Scott Hall, dressed as fucking Elvis,
Yes, right. Final Resolution 05 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Scott Hall comes out as Elvis and gets frisked by Roddy Piper. And the opening thing that you see is a fucking Jeff Jarrett promo.
I feel like I can see how you got these two pay-per-views confused, to be honest.
Well, I think they're about a month apart as well, aren't they? So
yeah,
it all sort of interlinks.
Of course, yeah. It's Final Resolution's in January, isn't it?
So,
Resolution, it makes sense.
Yeah,
they're advertising it on the show. Yeah.
So it sounds very similar that Jeff Jarrett is putting his dirty booking paw prints all over it. So.
All dressed as Elvis. It just went. It seemed like it went on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, this thing did, and then where I got to, Kevin Nash sort of breaks away a little bit. I don't know what he's like here, but yeah, I
know why.
I don't like Jeff Jarrett. Didn't like him in TNA when I watched it in about 07, 08. Thought he was garbage then. Always wanted him to lose. And he was a 6-time NWA champion. 6-time.
I was going to put my 2 pence in here. I'd have a very different opinion. I actually don't. My exact words are, what the fuck am I watching?
Good.
And I put the pay-per-views in Florida. Yeah, we're getting all these Las Vegas references. Obviously, I understand that the kings of wrestling, and that's kind of where it's come from. But why Elvis? Why do like the 3 wise?
Because everything was in Florida as well, wasn't it? It doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. It was a December pay-per-view. Just go on, 3 wise men.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just even the Impact Zone. Everything was held in Florida. So why pick, as Aaron says, Elvis? Where does that come from as a thing?
No, I didn't really. Which one of them was Vinny Vegas? Was that Kevin Nash? That's a stretch, isn't it? Sure, Kevin Nash was Vinny Vegas at one point.
Some fun trivia for you. They wanted to be like the new NWO.
That doesn't surprise me.
But Vince obviously owned all the rights to NWO and the Outsiders, so they couldn't use either of those names.
Because later on, Road Dogg, this is a few years down the line, but Road Dogg and Billy Gunn become VKM, Voodoo Kim Mafia, which is also Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another dig. And in the pay-per-view I watched, they actually mentioned WWF and WCW.
It gets better in this pay-per-view.
But obviously, I'm excited for you two to tell me.
Oh my God.
Are we ready for the first match then?
Let's go for it. I've got some thoughts about the Kings of Wrestling and Jeff Jarrett, but we'll wait till that match.
So, very similar to what I watched, we have BG James and Ron Killings.
Stop. I'm sorry to stop you yet again. But we have Mike Tenay and Don West on commentary.
Is Don West wearing a shiny shirt?
Yes.
Sure is.
Yes. Is it a black shiny satin shirt?
Yes.
Yes, he's wearing the same thing next month. Get it washed, Don West.
Obviously, we have the promo, cuts to Mike Tenay and Don West on commentary. And then they say, oh, yeah, someone's arriving in a limo. Who
Jeff
gets
Jarrett?
out? No.
Roddy?
No.
Randy Savage?
No, you're never going to guess it, mate, because it's brilliant.
Go on then.
Out of the limo gets Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And I'll leave it at that. Cut into the first match.
Right. So we have BG James and Ron Killings versus Bobby Roode and Eric Young, who are probably Team Canada at this point, I guess, still.
Yes.
Because they were the month after. And it goes for 8.5 minutes for the NWA tag titles on the line. Don't know who were the champions going into it. I assume Team Canada?
No, three.
Oh, right. Right. Okay. That's weird then, because in the month after, they're not against Team Canada at all. Big Dave gives it 2.25. What are we thinking?
I'm gonna call him Road Dogg just because.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Do they do the weird New Age Outlaws style stick at the start of this? Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't sit
Love
well.
It. I love it.
No, I'm fine with them doing it as New Age Outlaws, but I just think, I kind of get why they do it, because obviously it's kind of like WCW, and they're going to do the thing that's got them over because that's what people are going to recognize them for. But don't sit too well with me on this one.
I thought Road Dogg and Truth are brilliant together.
Well, they were together in WF, weren't they?
Yeah, I didn't realize how
K-Quick, wasn't he?
How early K-Quick was in there, yeah, because 2004. It must have been in there. Is it the tail end of the Attitude Era?
Yeah, he was in there. Was it 99, I think? 2000?
Fucking hell, was it that early?
Might be a little bit after that. Let's have a look. Let me have a look. He was in it 99 to 2002.
Bloody hell.
So he signed a development contract in 99. He made his official debut on the 13th of November on Raw is War, where he attacked William Regal in a match.
In 999?
In 2000.
2000.
2000 he fully debuted.
It's still on the go now. I'm sure he's a vampire.
Would you be watching this this wrestling match, should we say, thinking, Jesus Christ, this guy's going to be like one of the greatest champions of all time, holding one of probably the most titles of anyone? It's a question.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
How many times did he have the title? Is it 47? 48?
The 24/7. Let's have a look. It'll be
prestigious champion.
Prestigious.
This guy's aged less than Paul Rudd.
That's a great show. It is mad how much he just looks the same.
Well, Paul Rudd actually, because they both look pretty much the same. Yeah.
What we saying then for the most reigns with the 24/7 title?
I reckon it's like 48 in it that he's got.
48. We're going higher or lower?
Higher.
What were you saying?
51.
Close. He's down here twice. 52, but then there's a 52 with 53 brackets. Don't really know why, but we'll go with 52. So
he lost it and gained it in the same night, maybe.
No.
Is it because he lost it in an advert, didn't he? To Boogs.
Took place in a backstage. I've got no idea.
Yeah, there was one where.
It doesn't reflect the title change where he lost it to Tozawa.
Okay.
It was shown on the YouTube channel.
There was one where he lost it to Boogs in a Old Spice commercial.
Yes, that was great. But yes, so it's 52 times. So there we go.
Bloody hell, 52 times.
But ridiculously, he's not the longest reigning champion.
That's Reginald, isn't it?
It is Reginald.
Yeah.
What do we see? Obviously, we've seen Bobby Roode and Eric Young both in WWE now. Do we see any potential in these two at this pay-per-view? When I watched TNA back in the day, never liked Eric Young. Thought Bobby Roode was great.
This was a very young Bobby Roode, though.
Yeah.
He didn't look anything like.
Has he got long curly hair?
Mm-hmm. He had, sort of like shoulder length, but he had like a soul patch kind of thing kicking off.
Outstanding.
It was a bit bigger than a soul patch. I don't know what you call it. Like a goatee, but
a blob of Marmite.
Only the bottom part of the goatee and then not the mustache. But the mustache was there. It was like.
Was it crooked?
I mean, Aaron's more of a facial hair aficionado than me. I just go for the full beard. But it was kind of like. There's like a big soul patch, but it was on top of a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he only joined the company in 2004, did Bobby Roode as well, when he joined from WE, I think. Well, various developmental deals. But he appeared between numerous times between 2001 and 2004 on sort of Jacked Metal, Sunday Night Heat and Velocity. But yeah, he only joined TNA in 2004, did Bobby Roode. He
was one of my favourites in TNA.
I liked him in TNA.
I started watching around 2006, probably up until about 2010.
When was I watching? When was Christian Cage there? Was that 07-ish?
Later than that.
Was it? I might have been a little bit before that then. But I remember thinking he was great back in the day.
I got really excited when he was coming across WWE and then they've just not used him.
It's weird. It's really, I mean, I'm sure you covered it in the news video, but it's very, very weird what they've done with him. I think he's still brilliant, even at the age of 45. Eric Young's another one, though, isn't he, that fell into that same category. But like I say, in TNA, I didn't really like him. Did not like him.
No, he had that weird character, didn't he, for a bit? Do you remember when he was like scared he was on Pyro and that? That was
and then he was he a superhero as well, I think?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, they copied the Daniel Bryan thing, didn't they, like a month after and had him champion.
Yeah, and then but he looks very different now as well, doesn't he, from what he does back then? Because I remember when he first came to WWE and I saw him, like I didn't remember him with any tattoos or anything.
Yeah, like an old grizzled fisherman.
Yeah, I mean he only joined the company as well in 2004.
But they were your guys, weren't they? They were like guys, weren't they? Them and AJ Styles and
Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. They were like the five, and Samoa Joe to an extent as well.
Yeah,
so they were sort of the six, weren't they? So we've seen Big Dave give it 2.25. The one we all want to know about, Franklin Star. What are we giving the Frankenstein rating?
2.5. And I put boo. Team Canada win. 3 Live Crew got screwed.
Yeah, weird for that in an opening match, isn't it?
Was Scott D'Amore there?
Oh, was he there? He was all over this fucking show. He was on here more than Jeff Jarrett.
Oh my god!
Don't you think
Scott D'Amore?
Do you know how they call him the coach? Right, he don't look like a coach, does he? He looks like a non-CPE teacher.
He did. They did that too.
He genuinely did. Like,
yeah,
in what sport do you see like a fat coach and you think, yeah, he looks like a coach?
I'm just
Don't
trying to
you?
work out. I'm just trying to work out what he's doing now.
He looked more
He's
like a general manager.
He's the EVP of Impact Wrestling now.
Oh, is he still there? Is he one of the guys?
he's
Yeah, I
still-
thought I
he's
recognised his
still
name.
there.
Yeah.
And was K-Dog with 3 Live Crew?
No, but he turns up. Was he there? But he turns up later on.
Yeah,
It
he does.
says
He's in
says
a-
on the Wikipedia one he's
Yeah.
with Conan. So, but
I don't think he did a lot if he was there.
right,
he just shows up on a video package, which we'll
Yeah.
get onto later.
He didn't call anyone any fruit related items or anything like that. There's no strawberry or gooseberry or anything.
Yeah,
whatever it was.
right, we're
Banana,
good.
banana hammock.
Do we
So
have
look-
anything in between the matches?
Yes. So we have an interview, Shane Douglas interviewing Dusty Rhodes,
Oh God,
and Shane Douglas just looks confused.
he looks very much the same in a month's time as well. Like,
It's weird that he's just a random backstage interview, isn't it? Because it just looked like he was just fucking Michael Cole or someone, didn't he? Like, it took me a while to realise it was Shane Douglas.
I've never really liked Shane Douglas. Never really liked him. Never
Honestly,
got him.
If you don't like him now, you will definitely not like him further on in the video package at the end of the show. I will say that much.
Right. Okay. Anything of note other than this? Other than the confusion?
Dusty Rhodes calls the internet a crazy machine.
I mean, he's not wrong.
And then they're talking about a tape or something. So there's a tape that they're saying that Vince doesn't want TNA to show. That's basically the storyline throughout the pay-per-view.
Do we find out what the tape is?
Sort of.
Right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll put a pin in it. Are we good to move on to the next match?
Sure.
Right. So next up, we've got a 6-man tag team match. We've got Sonny Sayake, Hector Garza, obviously related
Angel's
to Angel
dad.
Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah.
Sanjay Dutt against Kid Cash, Michael Shane, who is Shawn Michaels' cousin. There's
Is
one
it?
for you. Yep, Shawn Michaels' cousin.
Ah.
And Kazarian with Tracy Brooks. What we thinking of the match?
I thought
What?
Michael Shane was going to be Alex Shane at first. I was like, he's done all right for himself.
He's called Matt Bentley, but yeah, he's Shawn Michaels' cousin.
What a match!
Yeah, it was.
This was probably contender for match of the night for me.
There's just a lot of action, wasn't there? It was an X Division match, really. I know Hector Garza's a bit older than that, but it was.
Do we think the X division is better than the Cruiserweight division?
Yes, because it's different. Right?
Yes. I'm glad you said that. I really like the X division.
The WWE Cruiserweight division on Raw was like a few years ago. Everyone was dead excited about it. It was the shittest thing ever because they were all just there was just smaller blokes wrestling.
I found the X division was sort of like an intercontinental like level of wrestler, world champ level of wrestler, but could do all the cool stuff like that people would expect everyone to do now. Sort of back then when it wasn't cool.
I guess
And
nowadays
for me, I think it's great
because you've got people like
no
Seth Rollins doing cruiserweight style matches, even though he's like 6
Exactly.
and 4. They're like, yeah.
But back then, like WCW had its cruiserweight division, TNA had the X division. It's quite revolutionary for its time, really. It sort of progressed the cruiserweight division onto that next stage and it made a lot of guys' careers as well. When you think about who you've got in there, Sanjay Dutt to an extent, again, did really, really well in TNA in the X division. Daniels, Kazarian, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, he was always around there. Yes, he's a bigger guy, but he was always very good in those type of matches that I saw.
Yeah, it was good that because when Hogan got there, he put a weight limit on it, didn't he? But
I don't know.
It was like 225 at some point, but I thought he was good without it because you could just throw Samoa Joe in there every now and again. I think was it around Kurt Angle's time when he started making it more just like a secondary title, but when it was sort of completely different. Because it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, I know it's technically. I know Bischoff used to say, "Oh, what makes it different?" It's just a match style, which he's technically in kayfabe can't control. But who cares? You expected a mental match every time you saw.
I was going to say that was the thing.
You
expected high spots and just something that was different to the norm, didn't you? Whereas, like I said, WWE at that point weren't really progressing and highlighting that sort of style of wrestling, and still don't really to an extent because yes, you get all the flippy stuff, but you get it in every match now. You don't get something that's so high impact where, for example, the pay-per-view that I watched in a month's time has the X rope on the top and you see people like climbing on that and stuff and then like jumping off it. It's just mad, just absolutely mad.
Oh, those Ultimate X matches were good. Do you know what?
Yeah, Ultimate X.
In a few weeks' time, we'll do Final Resolution 2005 for you.
Thank you.
I don't want to feel like you've wasted your time.
Do you know what? I enjoyed something a bit different. Big Dave gave this 3 1/4.
That's a bit harsh.
What are we saying, Aaron?
some of the moves in this match were just insane.
And that's what we were alluding to, isn't it? Like you say,
yeah, like Siaki and Garza do a couple of double team moves, like jumping off each other.
Much of Sonny Siaki, to be honest.
No, I don't.
I remember Sanjay Dutt.
Sanjay Dutt works for WWE now, doesn't it? I mean, there's a producer now.
Yeah, there's a list of people I always thought should have gone to WWE a lot earlier than they should have done if they never even made it there. Sanjay Dutt was one I would have liked to have seen as an in-ring talent. Daniels, Kazarian, I would have liked to have seen AJ gone earlier, and Joe. Would have liked to have seen all of them because I thought they put on such good stuff in this company.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, Sanjay Dutt was a weird one. There's a lot of them who sign as producers quite young, isn't he?
He's only young, isn't he? But
in fact, like a lot of the TNA guys that we're talking about here are now or have been in WWE doing different backstage roles.
Sanjay Dutt's 39.
Yeah, he's still going.
There's nothing new.
As the old cliche on this show goes, Bobby Lashley's 45.
Exactly.
It's like my one fact that I'm going to stick to forever now, but it's just age is just a number.
Apparently he's with All Elite now.
Oh, is he? Oh, he did leave, didn't he?
He left on the 29th of June and went to AEW.
Yeah, he just handed his notice in and went, didn't he? Yeah, it wasn't even a release. It was just he just decided to move. Yeah,
fair dues. Sorry, we interrupted your star rating there, and what we saying?
I said 4 stars. This was a good match for me. Really enjoyed it. Just full of action.
Is this your match of the night?
Contender.
Ooh, we're up there, are we? We're up there. So 11 minutes. Do we think that was the right time length as well?
Went long,
because they'd be knackered, wouldn't they, if they went
longer? Well, I didn't know because obviously sometimes 6-man tags are a bit samey, but I guess with the guys you got in there, it is going to be exciting, isn't it, for 11 minutes?
I think probably like if we watched like TNA every week, it probably would have been a typical X Division match.
Yeah.
But because we've not seen it, you're like, whoa.
When you're watching it, 17 years later, near enough, it's obviously, I don't know what happens next. Have we got any video package and commentary?
Randy Savage.
Backstage? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Take over.
He's threatening to stop anyone trying to ruin TNA.
With Scott Hudson as well.
Yeah, WCW legend Scott Hudson's there.
Scott Hudson, I'm going to have to Google that one. Oh, wasn't he on the commentary booth, Scott Hudson?
Yeah.
Sure was.
I'd take him over Michael Cole any day of the week.
Oh, Michael Cole's all right. Now he's with Pat McAfee. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, Pat McAfee.
Yes, I know Scott Hudson.
Because I love SmackDown. I think 99% of that is because of Pat McAfee. He just makes everything sound really exciting. It just goes mental for like the littlest thing, and it's like it makes you go mental. Like with Don West, a bit like that, but not.
I like Don West actually. He looks like the security guy from ECW as well.
I love the fact that he's just got no wrestling background. He was just like a QVC guy. Wasn't he?
Was he just like not even like a sportscaster or anything?
No, he was like a teleshopping guy.
Brilliant.
They just loved his like figure for it because he used to when he got sacked from not sacked but replaced on commentary. He used to do like Don West deals or something. Where he was just fucking stuff on TNA show.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Do we think TNA and West works as a booth? I always quite liked them. I always preferred West over TNA though.
I don't think TNA's very good play-by-play guy, to be honest. Like he's good, but he made it sound cheap.
I suppose the thing is when at this time you WWE commentators, was it Michael Cole and Taz at this point, or was it Michael Cole and Foley?
This time it'd be Cole and Taz.
Right. So and then you've got obviously King and JR. I mean, it's never going to live up to those two.
They've got Scott Hudson backstage.
Yeah. Why are they going to get Scott Hudson on? He's so much better.
The Scott Hudson. No,
did they ever go to a 3-man booth Impact? I don't know if they did.
Yeah, they had like 4. They had that whole Josh Matthews heel turn at one point in there, but might still be going for it, aren't they? Yeah. But no, I think Mike Tenay was all right. He was just a bit cheesy at times.
Yeah,
he likes to let you know how much he knows about wrestling, doesn't he?
Yeah, fair dues. So next up, then we've got a man that we've already talked about, Monty Brown. He takes on Abyss again, a guy that I really liked when I watched TNA. But this isn't just a match; it's a Serengeti survival match. Can one of you two please fill us in on what's a Serengeti?
So Serengeti is like the desert and that, innit? So obviously you can
I love that. The desert and that.
You can win by pinfall or submission, or the classic desert tactic of putting the other guy in thumbtacks.
Right. It was a hardcore match.
Right, okay, so it's false count anywhere.
Yeah, but if you just put him in the thumbtacks, you won.
Right, okay, brilliant. Because Abyss, he was always involved in thumbtacks, wasn't he, in TNA? He had a lot of scars on his arms. And I think most Abyss matches I watched or promos had him in some sort of thumbtacks or going through glass or something a bit mad.
He looked very Foley-ish in this match. Like, he looked like you would think it was a Foley match.
It's his big scars, isn't it, on his arms and that. He was somebody that I really liked when I watched it back in the day. I thought he was very good. I can understand why WWE didn't do him as a on-screen talent, because to me he'd be very much like too much like Kane with the mask, but then like too hardcore like Foley as well. He'd be like a rip off of the
I could have brought him on as Joseph Parks, because the Joseph Parks character was also brilliant.
Yes, they did one time, didn't they?
Did on SmackDown, didn't they? They did actually do
It was
that.
like, I thought they were going to start a thing with him in AJ Styles where he was like his analyst, but they only did it for 1 week. But I thought it was great.
Does Abyss have his music here?
Yes.
Yes, I really like that music as well.
And Monty Brown's was a rip-off of a song, but I can't remember what song it was now. I didn't write it down. But it was Down with the Sickness by the Step. It's a very obvious
rip-off. It's funny you should say that on the pay-per-view that I watched. There's I think, what was his name? Let me just have a look.
I don't know how they've got away with most
Eric
of these
Eric Watts. His music starts with "We Will Rock You" by Queen, and then goes into Paper Cut by Linkin Park with something else over the top. It's completely mad.
Yeah, I don't know how they got away with a lot. I just wait till fucking DDP comes out. But
I don't understand how they got it. Big Dave give this 2 3/4. Is that right? What we're saying, Aaron?
Ooh. That's a 2.5. It was all right match. One brilliant.
Yeah. The finish was
was it a pounce into the tax?
No, it was an alpha bomb. But he missed the tax basically, and the back of his head went into them instead of instead of his back. So when they were trying to get the close up of his back, they were only just in his shoulder blades, and that was it.
Yeah.
But his head went straight. It's good job he had that mask on his head, to be honest, because otherwise I don't know what would have happened.
And that was the thing with Abyss. He always ended up doing something that just looked horrendous. Do you know what I mean? Just always looked something painful. But again, he was quite the TNA guy for a while. I mean, I think he probably could have gone somewhere else and done more stuff.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Anne, but I found the finish really awkward when they both had the tags.
Yeah, I did.
So they both had tags, and then Monty Brown just thought, right, I'm just going to pull my tags out, and I'm just going to turn around and piss about for no reason. And then Abyss was there. I went, oh, well, I don't need these tags. So just put them to one side and started wrestling him. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
was Abyss
I think someone forgot what to do, basically. It was a really strange ending.
Was Abyss on his own here, or did he have James? I can't think of his last name. James Mitchell.
Sinister Minister. He was on his own. From what
he was on his own because again, he was with him quite a lot, and I thought they worked really well together at points. But again, Abyss is one of the original ones from actually 2002, which is a bit mad, really. To say he was with TNA for 17 years. Right up until 2019, plus all his independent stuff. Because that was the other thing about TNA. People still did. They didn't have just contracts to TNA, did they? They like people used to fly. I don't know if either of you to remember it in Doncaster. One Pro Wrestling, one PW. They used to come over and do stuff like that, didn't they? As well.
Well, that's why when we were talking about TNA guys, it's like Samoa Joe was always a Ring of Honor guy for me, even though it was around the same time. Yeah,
because I think they worked quite close together.
Yeah, I think there was. Ring of Honor signed a pay-per-view deal, so TNA pulled all the wrestlers in this thing. But there was quite a lot of crossover, wasn't there, between the two at this point? So but would we want to see another Serengeti survival match? No.
Pass.
It was just a bit. Well, it was a hardcore match, but they could have just done a normal hardcore match and just had him pin him afterwards.
We think Falls Count Anywhere would have been better. It
would have been fine to say that. I guess they were going for a different name, but I don't get I don't get why the Serengeti came from.
Maybe just watch the documentary an hour before. That'll do. Serengeti.
Thumbtack match. Like, if there's a fucking giraffe there or something, that'd be all right. I don't know where the Serengeti is.
I've just realised who's coming up next as well. Absolutely outstanding. But before we get into that was the fourth longest match in the card as well.
Yeah, there was no short matches, was there?
The shortest match is 7 minutes 50, which is the one up next. But before we get into that, do we have any? Oh God, we do. Is it Jeff Jarrett?
Oh no, it's Vince.
Right,
Vince fire someone. But then he realized it didn't work for him.
Who did he fire?
I think it was just a random backstage guy.
So it's not a face
I
that we
will say
recognise.
like, you only ever see the back of Vince, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But then the cam work is so shit at some points. It's basically just got the side of his head, and it's obviously fucking not Vince. But the impression's quite good, actually. Whoever's doing it,
Yeah,
it's a very good Vince impression.
I've also got Triple H with a towel on his head.
Yeah, Triple H is there. Because I thought it was fucking Sabu at first.
Yeah, I did.
Like when he first got a limo. I was like, why is Vince saying it with Sabu? Like, I got where they were going with the Vince parody.
I think Sabu did end up in TNA for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely ended up in TNA.
I think a lot of people actually did end up in TNA. There's more than what you think actually went there. He was there from 2002 to 2006.
So he was there at this point. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Sabu playing. No, I don't think it was Sabu playing Triple H. I guess we'll find out. It's probably a Steel. He normally does this sort of thing.
He left in 06, but again, he was apparently part of the X division.
Yeah. He left to go to the WWE.
Yeah, and then was there obviously for a year and then did his thing. And he went back in 2010. Were you watching around that time, Aaron?
I might have just switched off at that point.
And then he came back in 2019 to Impact as well. So outstanding stuff.
Just announced his retirement, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Yeah. He said he's all but done because I think he's a very injured man, which doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on to the next match, we have Johnny B. Bad and Pat Kenny versus Glenn Gilbertelli. Is that
Disco Inferno?
Gilberti and Johnny Swinger
Mm.
with Jacqueline as the special guest referee. 7 minutes 50. It's not even the lowest rated match on the card at 1 1/4.
Oh, he's generous. Can I give you my star rating and we'll just move on quickly?
You certainly can.
0.5. Move on.
Yeah, this was the worst match of the night by far.
Right, Dave hasn't actually put this as the worst match of the night, so I'm interested to know your thoughts.
I know what he's put the worst match of the night, and he's got a point to an extent, I think. But
just before we move on, because we all know I love Johnny B. Bad's music, was it the "I Just Wanna Be Bad" or would WWE owning that at this point?
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Yeah, it was like some sort of like it was a rip-off of actual Johnny B. Good, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Right. I find it weird as well that he's called Johnny B. Bad and just not Mark Mira because that's just his actual name.
We didn't look anything like Johnny B. Bad.
Did he not?
No, he looked more like Mark Mira. He looked like he looked very out of place. It looked like he was just on like a nostalgia style. You know, like if there was like a show like Butlins or something, and he just got like some old wrestler. He's still like, all right, what you'll do. Like,
and that's
it looked like that. And then it was weird to see like Disco Inferno with like a serious gimmick as well.
Well, Johnny B. Bad was only there for a year. He
Yeah.
left in January 2005 and he joined in 2004. In
fact,
fact,
Kenny was Simon Diamond.
He debuted in October of 04, so he was there for like 3 months before he left again. Who was Pat Kenny was who? Sorry,
Simon Diamond.
Simon Diamond, and who was Glenn Gilbertelli?
He was Inferno.
Yeah. And Johnny Swinger was
just Johnny Swinger.
Okay. Brilliant. Right. We'll move swiftly on then. Have we got anything in between?
Oh boy, do we.
Is it Jeff Jarrett?
So yeah, and he fucking along with the Outsiders. Kidnap Macho Man Randy Savage.
Is that how do they kidnap him?
It's just like a bungled thing in it, like backstage. He goes, and then he just goes, "What, did he get kidnapped?" And then
Don West says that? Is it Don West?
No, that was back to there. And Don West goes,
right.
"Who's going to stop him now?" Styles and Hardy, like as if like completely buries them two. And you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So you can see where this main event's going already. To be honest, based off this,
it sounds very WCW-esque. I have to say. Who was booking at this point for TNA? Was it Jeff Jarrett?
Possibly, yeah. I don't. Yeah, I think so.
Because I that's the only thing I don't.
It felt like they were trying to. It felt like Jeff Jarrett was trying to create the NWO, but like, yeah, let me be involved, please.
Yeah, let me be in.
Like, so they're just doing like loads of NWO stuff, but with Jeff Jarrett.
When you go on TNA's Wikipedia page, the height of popularity is 04 to 09. So there you go. Jeff Jarrett was the height of popularity according to Wikipedia.
Still a cunt.
Yeah, can't argue.
Is he one of the worst things to happen to pro wrestling? Quite possibly.
Yeah, because TNA was such a good opportunity that he kind of spanned, didn't he, really? By booking himself on top the entire time.
Yeah.
So, You see why he
It
does
is a
it, but
shame.
it's just it's a mark for himself, isn't
It is a
he?
shame.
Jeff Jarrett. That's the
I've just learned there was an Ultimate X playset. I bet that was quite a cool toy to have.
that would have been cool.
That would have
Yeah.
been cool.
Well, apparently that's why they love the six-sided ring, because they managed to get the toys into toy stores.
Yeah, I bet. To be fair, and people are going to go, "Oh, what's this six-sided ring?"
Exactly.
It makes them stand out as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, back in the six-sided ring, in the Impact Zone, we have DDP against Raven. You
Yes,
mentioned
we
his
did.
music earlier. DDP's. What was going
Well,
on?
it's basically, like his WCW theme is like "Smells Like Teen Spirit" but
Yeah,
backwards. Well, they've just decided, oh, do you know what? We'll just put like one note out of key and just call it a day. This time.
He's amazing.
So obviously it's WCW tunes like
Aaron, you're the musical one out of the three of us, so I'm excited to hear what you've got to say.
it's DDP. Well, it's WCW music was what did it go like?
Doom, doom, doom,
Dun, 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 dun.
There
Yeah,
you
something like that.
go. The musical notes of
Yeah.
Peters and Lew.
It was like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's the one.
So imagine, like Lou said, smells like Teen Spirit. Smells like Teen Spirit. It is exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. It's even got the drum intro.
I
It's even
don't know
got the drum
how
intro.
I don't know how I've got away with it. He even goes, "It's me. It's DDP." Which I guess is his name, so you like with that one.
But genuinely, like at the next pay-per-view, they mentioned both WCW and WWF, and you're like, how on earth did they
do
get
on
away
this
with
one.
some of the stuff?
But I Vince is here, isn't he? So-
Well, yeah, I suppose Vince is there, isn't he? But I do wonder if it's because they just knew that WE weren't going to be asked or paying attention to what they've got, because WE would have never seen them as competition.
Well, there's a
They've
strong
just
sign at the
bought
end
3 years ago
that
their
the
competition.
WWE do care slightly, or have at least stopped them from
Ooh.
doing something.
Oh,
Sort
we'll
of.
get to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that they don't care about them. What I mean is that they don't see them as a
As
threat. So
competition,
to mention their name is probably WE thinking, well, do you know what? If they're stupid enough to mention our name on their TV show, let them.
Yeah.
Because really, it's free advertising for WWE, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they never mention TNA, aren't they? They mention them all the time, don't they? Just different stuff, especially in
mention them
documentaries
now.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember the first time WWF mentioned it was when Kurt Angle made that joke about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn when he got fired from SmackDown.
Yes.
And he was like, "Oh, Raw's full, but I hear TNA's hiring." It's got big pop for the boys. Big pop
I think the thing is, now everyone knows about it, whereas back here, the internet wasn't the place that it is today. Not everything was readily available either, was it? So to mention TNA to WE, everyone would have then gone, well, what's the TNA? I don't understand what you're on about. Whereas WE are like, well, if they want to say our name to, I don't know, a few 100,000 people a week, if that, maybe a few tens of thousand people a week, let them have it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the sake of it. Whereas now, obviously, everything is open 24/7. You can literally go and interact with, not suggesting they will tweet you back, but do you know what I mean? That interaction is always there. Whereas here, there was nothing like that, was it? And WE are probably in one of the high points of their history, really, at this point in time as well.
So just coming off it,
themselves. Yeah. Sort of reinventing themselves with the what's it called?
Ruthless Aggression.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's what. So I can see why WE were bothered. But we've got, for 12 minutes and 3 seconds, Raven versus DDP. It goes 3 1/4 from Big Dave. Are we thinking that's right?
Yeah. Not so bad, Dave.
Feels like this should have been a hardcore match, just on paper, because it's got Raven involved.
The build-up made it look like it was going to be a hardcore match as well.
It's very much the same in the next pay-per-view as well. That's the only reason I say it. What was the promo like? Did every match have a promo?
So DDP standing up for Eric Watts, basically, to cut it short.
Right, okay. So at the next pay-per-view in 2005, January, you get Eric Watts versus Raven, and it does flash back to DDP being involved as well.
That makes no sense, so we'll get into the match.
Yeah, it does not. That's all.
So Eric Watts joins TNA and West on commentary.
So we get a special. What's he like on the commentary booth? Because I'm not going to lie, in the ring, he's not brilliant.
Not brilliant.
Excellent.
So DDP gets really frustrated with the ref and just delivers a massive big boot.
Is he still doing the diamond cutter at this point?
Yes.
Sure is.
Right, excellent.
He's basically he's back to WCW DDP basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
realize
like they
how tall.
ignored his WWE run.
I didn't realize how tall he actually was.
It's tall.
6'5", isn't he?
I thought it was about. Yeah, it's only.
I
when
think
you
he's
see-
billed smaller than he actually is, because I'm sure Austin's made a joke about it before, like he's one of the tallest 6'5" I've ever seen. He's
billed
actually
at-
like 6'7", 6'8".
I was going to say, when you look at him next to Nash, he's very close to Nash.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason I said it.
Yeah, so DDP takes the ref out. Raven then dominates for quite a while. Eric Watts runs to the ring to protect DDP from Raven's goons or gang that come out.
What do we
then-
make? Sorry.
Then a swerve. Eric Watts takes out DDP with a clothesline.
Right. Well, the next pay per view, you've got Eric Watts versus Raven.
Oh.
So
It doesn't make sense even in the context of this match.
No, he
DDP
literally
fucking
doesn't.
wins it. Like,
yes, he does. He wins it. I don't get it. I've just realized as well. Sorry, in that previous tag match, it was won by TKO as well, not even pin.
yeah.
But we'll carry on anyway. Back to DDP and Raven. What do we make of Raven as a character in TNA, or just as a character in general? I like him.
I like him.
I like him.
Remember, this
Should
point
have
is a bit still, and it's a bit.
I think when he first came out, it was fine, but maybe
Raven's
needed a bit of a
flock was
reinvention.
peak, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I do like the Forevermore thing. I do like that as a thing. Just trying to find how long Raven was actually in TNA, because DDP was there for a year. Again, let's have a look. When did DDP join? November the 12th, and he was gone by May. So there's a recurring theme that people aren't actually sort of sticking around in TNA all that much. The older people. I don't know why that is, whether money wasn't great or they just weren't fancy.
Money
really
was
know.
probably good, and that hence why I hadn't stuck around for so long. They probably got the paycheck.
Well, yeah, you're probably right, to be fair. You're probably right. Well, Raven was there from 2003 to 2010, which is a longer tenure than what I thought as well.
Yeah, I think he's in and out of it. if I'm honest,
Yes.
from what
I'm
I remember.
Just having a look. So he joined in January 2003, 2 days after his release from WE, which obviously now is mind-blowing because obviously you would have the 90-day no compete, wouldn't you? Unless they let the contracts expire, obviously. I'm not looking at it. He had a match backstage brawl with Vampire at some point. What else happened? He started out with attacking Jeff Jarrett. Outstanding.
He got scalped at one point.
Actually scalped.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He lost the hair versus hair match, but the whoever was cutting his hair, I think it was James Mitchell, fucks it up and rips the scalp off.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
He probably enjoyed it, did Raven?
Yeah.
He's just a sick son of a bitch. New Jack, I think, turned up at some point as well. Team with Terry Funk. So
Yeah. So anyway, back to the DDP match. DDP wins with Diamond Cutter. I give it 3 stars. So there or thereabouts with Davey Boy.
I was gonna say Big Dave gave it 3 1/4. So it sounds like he's fairly on the mark at this point, Dave, because it sounds like he was giving it a go, but wasn't being favoritism, because now he would just give everything like 4 or 5 stars. I'm sure
He's been tweeting about that recently, actually, that he thinks now is the best ever time for professional wrestling. He said you could have 3 matches a week in 2021 that would win match of the year in 2001.
Do you know what? He's probably right though, isn't he? Because there's a lot.
Well, we've got access to more, aren't we, these days?
Well, that goes back to what we were saying, doesn't it, about the internet in 2004? Yeah. But I think as well that there is a lot more talent now than what there ever has been as well. When you look at some of the names that are on this pay-per-view, again, quite older people. You've got, for example, Nash, Hall, Jarrett, DDP, even Raven to an extent as well. They're like people that you've seen before, whereas now there's a lot more new, exciting people, isn't there, coming up and about. And again, there's 2 major companies now on primetime telly, whereas here, again, it was just WE, wasn't it? So
yeah.
But we'll
TNA were trying, bless them.
Yeah, do you know what? They were looking good at one point, and then the financial problems hit, didn't they? And it just went to rat shit.
I think they did hit at first round here, didn't they? And that's when Dixie Carter had to come in. So I don't think Dixie Carter was here yet.
Ant and Deck.
At this point. Ant and Dex. Oh, no,
what?
Dex cousin.
Dex long lost cousin.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
But yeah, it was so fucking Eric Watts turned on DDP, but then DDP was like, oh well, I'm just gonna fucking
this thing.
Win anyway.
Like I said, from what I've seen, it's horrendous in the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, so he picked up gave him a lariat, and then tried to choke slam him, but DDP countered, and then he diamond cutted Raven as well.
Right, well, excellent, because in the next pay-per-view, he completely messes up a choke slam.
Yeah, I think Eric Watts. I'm assuming he was the son of Cowboy Bill Watts.
Yes, he is. Because I had to Google him. Because I wondered, because he looks like Crush.
Because I just don't think he was very good, was he? But I don't know if Eric Watts was working in. I mean, Bill Watts was working in TNA at this point, was he? Because I don't.
No,
I do know there was.
Bill Watts did was WWE in 2005.
There was something where Bill Watts kept booking Eric to win. It might have been like UWF, isn't it? Really? I remember WCW like ages ago.
There's UWF and Mid Championship Wrestling. Championship Wrestling, sorry. So yeah, it might have been WCW, but that was very early 90s. But I didn't think much to Eric Watts when I saw him either. Like I say, he looks.
And also, like, I know he's got the prestige of being Cowboy Bill Watts' son, but Eric Watts, just freaking shit wrestling him, isn't it? Freaking Eric Watts.
Yeah.
Well, imagine that. You know, there's the WrestleMania text. Can you imagine headlining?
Would you like to know
Eric Watts?
Would you like to know his other wrestling names?
Go on.
Amarillo Slim.
Okay, maybe that's better. I mean,
and Troy.
Troy.
just Troy. What about what's that fingers guy from Blazing Squad? Where is it? Tiny Fingers or whatever he was called.
Tiny Fingers, yeah.
Tiny Fingers. Just give him that instead.
Or UK rapper Naughty Boy, who is going to be on Our Celebrity this year. Never read him.
I don't know who that is. Naughty Boy. Is he part of that Sam Smith? That song from about 10 years ago. It was very average.
Naughty Boy rings a bell.
I think it might be that.
He's going to be on Our Celebrity along with Richard Madeley, so look forward to that.
Oh, Jesus. Right, we'll move back to bigger and better things here. Did we have anything in between? Right, is this still right? Take it away, gentlemen.
No, so some broad brought in some cookies for Vince McMahon.
Some broad?
I don't know. I can't remember her name. Don't say notes, things like that.
It was Tracy.
Was it Tracy Brooks?
Just says Tracy on the recap that I've got.
So she brings him some lovely homemade cookies. Vince, I brought you some cookies, and he just smashes the plate out of her hands, and the cookies go everywhere. So as a result, I just put Vince McMahon doesn't like cookies.
No, he wanted protein.
I think that's fair enough. I think it probably was Tracy Brooks,
but the cookie tray comes into play later in the show.
If it was Tracy Brooks, she'd married to Kazarian.
Tracy Brooks was there for a long time. She was on the last pay-per-view we did once until
she was there from 2003 to 2012, which is about right.
Again, I would say that it would be then. I think it was.
Because there was her and ODB, wasn't there? Who was in one of the original Tough Enoughs. ODB, which stood for One Dirty Bitch.
Sure, yeah, like one old dirty bastard.
Yeah, so we'll move swiftly on then. So up next, we've got the second highest rated match of the night, something that would genuinely excite me, I think. And again, somebody who, I don't really know how he didn't end up in WWE. We've got Petey Williams is the man who I don't really know how he ended up in WWE, because I thought he was brilliant, against Chris Sabin, somebody I liked, again, at this point in time. 18 minutes and 11 seconds for the X Division title. Was this as good as what we were just saying about the X Division?
Yeah.
This was a fucking beautiful match, and I'd quite like to make love to it.
What do we think of the Canadian Destroyer? The only reason I say that is when I first saw it, it blew my mind that could be done in a wrestling ring. Whereas we see now, it's just a transitional move, and it upsets me.
Well, you see, the first time I ever saw it, do you know who was by?
Bad Bunny.
No.
Do you know what? To be fair to Bad Bunny, what a Canadian Destroyer he did, yeah.
But no, I saw it by even randomer than Bad Bunny. Trevor Murdoch was the first person I saw do a Canadian Destroyer.
It's just mad. But it's the speed that he does it in as well, isn't it? Whereas you look at other people that do it, it's just so slow in comparison.
Yeah, at this point they were just calling it a flip pile driver. They weren't actually calling it the Canadian Destroyer.
His nickname was the Canadian Destroyer, and I think they obviously turned into that. But Petey Williams now, he's only 40 years old as well.
Yeah, but this match was just, I fucking loved it because I was kind of like going in and out. You know, he was on the background at some points, and I was just got right into this match.
Chris Sabin as well. What do we make of him?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else that I feel could have gone to WWE, but didn't again.
He did a few coaching stuff in NXT, didn't he, for a bit?
Yeah, I feel as though he wasn't as good as Petey Williams.
Did he have a match in NXT? Was he not in
he was with Kushida, where they were the time splitters.
Yeah.
But again, he was an original. He was there from sort of 2003 to 2013. Then he went to Ring of Honor, New Japan, and then he's back in Impact now. But I think did he retire for a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's must have been when he was hanging around NXT again, like doing coaching and stuff.
But yeah, what? So, who do we think was the better of these two then in this match? I know it's going to be a tough question.
It's hard to tell because obviously Petey Williams was the heel because he had Scott.
Was he part of
tomorrow?
I was going to say, was he part of Team Canada? Yeah.
But then the crowd, I think just because Pete Williams was so good, we're like split 50-50.
Yeah, I've written a very divided crowd with "Let's go Sabin," "Let's go Petey." The crowd loved this match.
That to me says that a crowd want to cheer for both, but there's one in that they like both, but they're just picking one just ever so slightly. But there's nothing better than a crowd being into a match either, is there?
Petey absolutely dominates in this match though. For about 10 minutes of this, he's just on.
I remember him being a very good heel. I remember him being a very, very good
Sabian just keeps kicking out. Chris turns it around with a huge super kick and then a power bomb. And then Petey's back on him again. Petey returns.
There was the power bomb into the railing at one point.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Disgusting. Very good way.
Was there a pair of brass knuckles somewhere?
Yeah, right at the end.
Yeah, that was the end.
So who hit Sabin with the brass knuckles? I'm just reading about it now. Petey Williams.
Yeah, pulls him out of his pants.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
straight out of the William Regal.
Because I almost thought especially the way the commentators were talking about it, I thought this was like where someone just has a really good match to the point where they just become a face. I thought that was happening in this match. I thought they were turning Pete Williams face and he was going to split off from Team Canada. I don't know if that happens further down the road, but he seemed to be kind of getting the crowd behind him a bit.
Yeah.
So
no idea.
Big Dave gives this the second highest rating in the night with 4 stars. Aaron?
4.5.
4.5.
See, this review I'm reading, ForMoreMania.com, they've only given it 3 stars.
Oh, I don't know what they was watching.
Harsh, yeah. But I loved it. At this point, I was like, I think this is going to be the best match tonight. It wasn't, but at this point, I was like, this is going to be the best match tonight.
What I will say at Final Resolution is there's 2005. There's over 2. Again, there's 2 4-star matches, at least 4-star matches. Yeah. Both go over it. And one of them, again, is the X Division title involving both of these people.
I just felt like these two had great in-ring chemistry.
Yeah. And I think that goes back again, doesn't it, to what we were saying about the X Division earlier, that this division was probably one of the best divisions around because everybody in it fit it so well, didn't it? Everybody's style just worked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it.
That was it. It had like a very, I guess we call it a spot fest style, but it didn't matter because the crowd were going mad for it. It still doesn't matter these days, to be honest. No. Like if the crowd's going mad for it, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. Like not everyone gets it, but it doesn't matter. Like I don't really get Orange Cassidy, but people love it, so I carry on doing it for
No, don't like him, don't get it, boring.
But do you know what I mean? Like if it's popping the crowd,
well, that's it. People,
then you've got to do it, haven't you? It's like wrestling's a buffet in the words of Eric Bischoff. It's got to be something different for everyone there. That's what makes a good show.
As long as it isn't all beige, you're good.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone's got different styles, which is like back to the news show. That's the problem with WWE now, is that they're all trying to do the same style, no matter who they are, no matter what
and the characters. I think that works across multiple companies as well.
Yeah, but whereas like here, and to be fair, that's what the AEW do, don't they? Just let the wrestlers do their style of match.
And do you know what? Fair play to them.
Yeah.
Fair play. And you can sort of see with these matches that they are given that creative freedom to go and do what they want to do because they could see that these guys in the ring are going to go out there and produce.
I get what they're saying. Like it's a dangerous style, especially in WWE.
Of course
you're doing like 3 or 4 matches a week, aren't you? But you don't have to do it on house shows all the time. But
no,
just go for a fucking banger match like this every once in a while.
You can see the influences that these matches have had on the people like, for example, Will Ospreay of the world, who would have fit into this division perfectly.
But there's even people in WWE. If you put like Seth Rollins and Finn Balor together, you tell me they couldn't do a match like this if they wanted to.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even to a point, Big Keith, because he liked to jump around.
Yeah, Samoa Joe. He's a Samoa Joe division,
and that's what I mean. So
I wish WWE would do that. Just take the Intercontinental or the US title, make it like an X Division type thing. You don't even have to say they're doing it. Just start doing different matches for that division,
And that's what I mean. That's what I said earlier. Like it felt very much like an Intercontinental style title, but offered you something a little bit different.
Ricochet and Ali, they've started feuding again. They could do this quite easily.
Ricochet would be perfect in this. Even Aleister Black would have been another one.
Yeah,
he would have been brilliant. So I think there's plenty of people that can do it now, but unfortunately, it isn't going to be done, is it, anytime soon? Certainly not in WWE. AEW might do something like it. It'd be good.
Yeah.
Won't be adverse to seeing it, but we'll have to wait and see. Right then, I need your two impacts here. Well,
This is brilliant.
This doesn't leave me up well. This
So, oh my god! Right, I don't even know how to explain this.
So I think that just tells you everything you need to know.
Oh my god! So there's a knock on the office door.
Is this Vince's office?
Vince answers it, and he's like, "Who's there?" And it's like, "Oh, it's TNA's senior manager over there." And it's a fucking midget. It just fucking hits him in the balls. And beats him up with the bacon tray.
What with the previous cookie tray?
Yeah, the cookies right earlier. It's a hands up for continuity. But it's like, this was the fucking payoff.
I'm gonna have to go watch this because this sounds incredible. I mean, at least you know that Vince likes a midget. Oh my god, we've actually got tears on the podcast. We've got actual tears on the podcast.
I'm actually crying. It was just the best five wrestling I think I've ever seen. It was.
It's one of the best segments I've ever seen, to be fair.
I need to go watch this. I think.
Seeing Vince McMahon being absolutely beaten by a midget.
It was just when he got him on the floor and he grabbed the bacon tray and just started wailing at him. And I was like, oh my god.
Was it kind of like Stone Cold wailing on him, but a little midget?
Yeah.
Then
he just walks up and goes like,
what, dusting his hands down?
And that's the end of the segment. And it was honestly, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Because at first I was like, just taking digs at WWE, what a bore. But this is the way to fucking do it. You beat up Vince with a midget. That's how you do it. Little person. It says midget on my review, so I'm going with it.
Do we think that they actually took the Stone Cold Steve Austin in hospital thing as part of this? This is where the inspiration came from, but obviously with the tray.
I think they just wanted Vince to get beat up by a midget. That was as much as they.
They know Vince likes a midget as well, don't they?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, obviously, was this pre-Hornswoggle?
Pre-Hornswoggle.
Been a couple of years before Hornswoggle, weren't it?
Mm-hmm.
And again, he got beat up quite a lot, didn't he? In fact, he was the man's goddamn illegitimate child. So there we go. Maybe Vince saw this and thought, God damn it, I want a midget, pal.
Well, he was there. He got beat up by one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, it's one of the greatest wrestling segments.
I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm
actually crying. I've actually got.
He's got tears in his eyes. He's actually crying.
I'm actually just tears streaming down my face. But
any promos at all in between the midget and the next match?
No, nothing about.
So we go from what can only be described as on paper as the sublime to the shit. We've got a 6-man tag match, another one. AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Savage against Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. Not only does this sound horrendous on paper, it goes for 17 minutes, 52 seconds. The star rating is 1 from Big Dave. So he's
I disagree.
Comfortably, apart from the Johnny B. Bad match, the lowest rating on the
It's
card.
absolutely not the worst match. I'm going to say that right now.
Right, okay. Well, that's brilliant. Do we think he's only putting it 1 star because it's got Randy Savage in it?
I think it's because of the people involved. That he wasn't given a chance because he does that, doesn't he? Yeah.
That's what I mean. So it's not the worst match on the card. What makes it not the worst match on the card?
Because the other match was just shit. But I mean, it's not great, this match. But
Jeff Hardy at this point as well, by the way, 28 years of age, he's already in TNA.
I didn't realise he was in this early.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, this was his because he came back in 2006, didn't he?
Yes.
I remember that. I remember returning, but...
And then he went back to... Then this is long before the Sting...
Yeah, that's the second time, isn't it?
He was in from 2004 to 2006. He was actually Ring of Honor in 2003. He came back went to WWE in 2006 to 2009, then came back to TNA from 2010 to 2017.
See, that blows my mind. You know, we're talking about people being released now, and it's like, because in 2002 was when he had that famous match for The Undertaker, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. The hardcore match.
Yeah. But then it was was it the ladder match? God,
the ladder match.
Make yourself famous. Yeah.
Yes.
And then he was gone like a year later. It's
but well, to be fair, he didn't help himself. It's no showing events. It refuses to go to ring. So there's kind of that side to it. So I mean, and it's it's something that's not tarnished, but has been attached to his career for quite a while, which we see in his second run in TNA, don't we?
It's
Against
full on
Sting.
stopped him hitting the heights they should have done. Yeah.
Yes, and I did wonder if something was going on here, just from what I'd seen in the next pay-per-view, but it doesn't look like it does at this point. I don't know if it was any different in this match. Did he look okay? Did he perform okay?
Yeah, it looked all right. So the Hall and Nash addresses Elvis.
Yes, so that transfers over to the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was a thing. Jeff Jarrett wasn't, but he was kind of there with them, wasn't he? Wearing the same colours, but it wasn't. Randy Savage obviously wasn't there because he'd been kidnapped earlier in the day.
So does Randy Savage not turn up?
He does, but right at the very, very end.
Right.
So it was an all right match. Like, so if it was 18 minutes, did you say?
17 minutes, 52.
17 minutes. So I think
18 minutes, basically.
A good 15 minutes of these are a 3-on-2 handicap.
Right,
match.
okay. How did AJ and Jeff Hardy get on as a team? So I imagine they were quite good because AJ Styles here is 27 as well.
I thought they were really good, and I thought as much as Hall and Nash get a bad rep for not putting over younger talent, I thought they did a really good job here of putting AJ over.
You can Sorry, go on.
So the match starts. You've got AJ squaring off against Jarrett. Jarrett then tags in Scott Hall. AJ throws him around the ring a little bit, and then he's on the floor, and then he points to Nash and says, "You now." So Nash is laughing. He gets in the ring, throws a couple of punches at AJ, but then AJ just gets the better of him as well. So I thought that was really good of him putting him over, I suppose.
It's not something that they're known for, is it? But I suppose in WCW they had creative control, didn't they? Whereas I guess that's probably restricted and taken away from them here, which
not really
probably a reason in it. But
Jeff Jarrett owns the company. So.
No, but I mean for them too, for the attacks that they'll.
Yeah, I mean they did look like they were.
But obviously, I know what you mean that with them being linked with Jeff Jarrett, that he's just a dick.
Yeah, with Ross being off, like I know he hates Kevin Nash, doesn't he, for this? Because there was kind of a bit where it doesn't like they were taking it seriously, was they? Like, I guess that's the character. It's only like Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are very similar to how these act actually.
But they didn't really take it seriously when they joined WCW either, did they? They were just sort of there.
No. That's the character.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I think that's what Ross always doesn't like, does it? Because it kind of looks like
it's still real to Ross, damn it.
Yeah, but like it kind of, because by not taking it seriously, you put yourself over a bit too much, don't you? I think on other people.
Well, Scott Hall would wrestle Jeff Hardy at the next pay-per-view in January 2005, and then he took some time off. I did think he was looking bloated.
Scott Hall was not well at this point.
No.
And this is the thing with TNA. They have a history of doing this, of signing people that they shouldn't do.
Because we picked up on this when we watched the first ever match, event, didn't we?
Yeah.
That he didn't look good here. Because it says he takes some time off, and then his next sort of reference is November 2007.
Wow.
Got Hall. So whether he's off for 18 months or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I think he would have been. This is a weird time, wasn't it? Like, again, even these two were only in.
I don't know what Nash
WWE like being in big storylines. Like Kevin Nash only had his Hell in a Cell the year before.
Yeah, the one that we watched the other week, wasn't it? Well, Nash was in it from 2004 to 2011. That's
on and off.
Is it on and off? Is it? But even then, still to have that on and off run, that's mad for that length of time, isn't it? Really, for someone like Kevin Nash, who has been WCW, been in WE, and then sort of been here, the lesser company, no disrespect, for so long. And I think when you look at these 10 years, it is surprising how long they're actually there. Like Kurt Angle.
Oh, Kurt Angle's the weirdest. He was there longer than he was
than WE, and he made his name WE. It's mad. But even, and like Jeff Hardy, like we were saying, to say he was there for those 2 years, and probably the start of the prime of his career, it's bizarre. They did get some talent in, and they kept it for a while, to be fair to them. But when did he? So he joined November 2004. So he's only just joined then. This is December, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's literally just joined. And then the month after this, he's in the World Heavyweight title picture. So does anything lead up to that in this match, or is it sort of an impact afterwards?
I know why.
Go on then.
So let's carry on with the match, and we'll get there.
Yeah, go on then.
So it's going back and forth. Then the AJ and Jeff seem to get the better hand over the Kings of Wrestling, and the Kings of Wrestling turn it back around. and suddenly Savage comes out. I can understand why he played such a little part in the match. It was obviously to protect him.
What sort of shape was he in at this point?
Not too bad considering his age.
He looked old. You can tell he was old.
He looked old. Yeah, he looked old, but his body, I mean, he looked in all right shape.
He probably won't listen to this. He looks a bit like Scott Smith on our night out the other week.
I thought you meant Randy Savage isn't going to look like this. I was like, he's definitely looking right. But yeah,
no, he looks a bit like David Guest, yeah.
Well, this is Macho Man's first time in the ring in 4 years.
Because he obviously been too busy on his rap career at this point.
And Spider-Man.
So he comes in. He comes in, throws a lot of punches. And then AJ, Macho Man, and Hardy get the Kings of Wrestling in sleeper holds. And then Savage pins Jarrett. I think that's the best way to put it, simply.
Savage
so it's a very strange pin.
Does he do the elbow drop?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole thing's a bit weird, actually, because Savage comes out and he's like, I'm here to save the day. I really, really wish that Don West had gone, but whose side is he on? You know, just for all time's sake, because it was that sort of thing. But he didn't. But then he goes like, "Oh, go save it there," because like I think Jeff Jarrett just nailed Hardy with the guitar just before, yeah. And then he stands and waits for a tag, which I found hilarious. So everyone's down the floor. A guitar's got involved. It's not a DQ match, and then Savage like, "I better tag in. They'll play by the rules." But yeah, the finish was really weird. He just kind of put him down and pinned him, didn't he? After a sleeper, it was.
Was it a quick finish?
Yeah.
He must have been in there for a minute max.
In a 17-minute.
But then it was I don't know why he just didn't. If you weren't going to do the elbow drop, just do like a pile jabber. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't do it because then he carried on beating him up afterwards. It was a really anticlimactic finish.
So the whole idea was Savage was meant to go into the title picture in the next pay-per-view against Jarrett, by all accounts.
Which they kept pushing that idea, didn't they?
Yeah, but he got released.
Right,
this was his only match ever for TNA.
Yeah, they kept they were really pushing the idea. Oh, he's just been the champion, so
yeah,
is he in line?
And then in the next pay-per-view, you've actually got Monty Brown, DDP, and Kevin Nash all in a three-way. The winner of that then faces Jarrett on the same night.
So then that leads on to Kevin Nash kind of causing a bit of a rift with the Kings of Wrestling because obviously he's feuding with Jeff Jarrett.
Yes. Yeah, because it's like whose side are you on type thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They sort of appear to be together for a little bit, still as the Kings of Wrestling, and there's a bit of a turn in the build up for the match at the pay per view that I watched, which wasn't this one.
Yeah. We'll do it at some point. I promise.
We'll go over it. Thoughts on the match then, Aaron? If Big Dave gave it 1, what's your rating?
3.
Okay.
I would lean more towards Aaron's. Because it was good, and I know Savage only took the piss really, because everyone was like, "Oh my god, what a performance from Savage after coming back from being kidnapped." Which, fair play really. It must be dramatic for the guy.
Do we think that's why it plays into Dave's 1-star rating?
I think he just didn't like the people involved. Dave.
Yeah, I think so. I thought the younger talent was made to look really strong in this match.
Yeah, I thought he made it look really good.
And
Considering Don West kind of buried him earlier in the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Savage having such a small role to play in the match worked in their favour. Also worked in Savage's favour because it would not have lasted 17 minutes.
For me, I wish he'd played his music when he walked out just to give him a big pop. Did
you hear his music?
At the end when he won.
What was it like?
It was just his WWE one because it's Land of Hope and Glory in it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I guess it's not copyrighted.
So again, they didn't give a shit.
You can't copyright the English national anthem, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Did we see AJ becoming the star that he turns into? Do we see shoots of that in this match?
I think the very thing even being in the match was a sign that they were pushing him to be a big star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he was like the TNA guy, and they were trying to. It was very NWO-ish, but on a poorer scale. I imagine it would have been it was like if Hogan just didn't turn on WCW.
Yeah.
It was just the kind of the versus one. Yeah, odd finish.
It sounds like the right people won though.
Yeah, I guess if that's what they were putting Savage. I mean, I don't think Savage could have lasted a match with Jarrett.
No,
that would have been a -5-star territory.
I think they probably realised that going into this match, hence why he played such a small part. And then
he should have retired after his match with Tom Maguire.
I think Oh yeah, but Bonesaw. I thought you said Tom McGuire at first. Who the hell's Tom McGuire? I think when you've been out of the ring for 4 years as well, and he will have been 44, 42 at this point.
No, it's no excuse, is it? When Bobby Lash is 45.
Yeah, that's very true. But when you've been out of the ring for as long as he has as well, I suppose it's quite difficult to come back in, isn't it, as well?
CM Punk had quite a while out of the ring. He looks all right.
Oh, he's 52, sorry, here. 52, Savage. I just can't do maths.
Yeah. Sting looks all right at that age.
Sting's still going now.
Sting's going through tables. This is 69.
Sting?
Carry 69?
He's 62, isn't he?
Not the wrestler, not the fucking singer.
Is he?
Can't be 69. You can't put a 69 man through a table.
He's 62.
62. You
On the money.
really. You should
Either
be
way.
putting a 62-year-old man through a table.
Either way, there you go. He's seen his 60s, which is a frightening fact. So, after that, do we have any other smalls?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
Here
boy.
we go.
So,
Right, take it away, boys.
well, fucking TNA, man. Right. So they were like, Dusty's like, yeah, show him the tape because this is tape that Vince don't want to see. But obviously, he's been beat up by a fucking midget out of the baking tray. So he's out of it. He's out of it. So Dusty's like, you just show him the tape. So it's WWE had a show in Orlando. So some TNA guys. So there was R-Truth, so Ron Killings was on then, Road Dogg, the aforementioned Tracy, Abyss, and Shane Douglas have gone down, and they went to the production area to give them cookies and also steal some of the fucking chai sui or whatever it was that they're eating.
Oh my
It's
god.
better than that. It's better than that.
But because WWE had literally legally, they had to blur out fucking everything, so you couldn't really see a damn thing that was going on. Because you had to blur out everyone's faces. I think you saw the back of the Undertaker at one point.
Quite possibly.
I think it was the Undertaker. It was the back of him, and then they had the picture taken with one WWE guy, the backstage producer, and they were joking like, "Oh, you've just lost your job," which is people genuinely do lose a job for that. So, very funny. Yeah, but they literally had to blur out everyone's face, so you couldn't really tell what was going on. It was just, it looked like they were like, "Oh, WWE are going to scare us from showing this tape," but then they kind of did. So, yeah,
I'll go into a bit more detail.
Go on, then.
I was very impressed.
Abyss is carrying balloons.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then they're walking down, aren't they? And they're saying, "Oh yeah, let's go and show WWE what a real wrestling company looks like." Road Dogg's looking everywhere for him and just shouting, "We're friends. We're friends. I made him a shitload of money." Where's Vince? It's like they tried to do what DX did with WCW back in the day.
That was a weird thing because he kept justifying, didn't they? They were kind of, "Oh well, WWE have to do this to WCW, like, so we can do it. It's fine." Like,
but they actually kept mentioning companies' names as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
the entire it was very it looks so low, right? I'm very glad that when SmackDown was in Jacksonville the other week that the AEW did not do this because it did not come across. It just made them look very small time.
And
We have another VT as well.
for them.
Vince McMahon's been carried out on the stretcher.
Where's it? What? Into an ambulance?
Into an ambulance. And then
Outstanding.
Triple H is just stood there like, "What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?" And Vince is like, "Oh, you need to get the tape." This must have been before this.
Oh, it
VT
was
out.
yeah.
But yeah, it was just, he's like, "You're my son. You need to find that tape."
But I love the Triple H
Oh,
guy.
my son.
The guy Tom was at the entire time, obviously.
Yeah.
But everything he said, he was like, "What do I do?" Like it was quite a good impression. It was quite funny. It was childish, but it was quite funny. So.
Is it like Jason Sensation's impression of when he was doing
But,
it?
yeah, it could have been him for I know. I don't know who it was.
I don't know. Jason Sensation was quite a small man.
Yeah, does not. He was quite small. He was a lot smaller than Vince.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just having a look at Jason Sensation.
I
And
can't. It doesn't say on the review that I've got who it was.
no, I don't know if it was, but I just remember him having. He did it for a little bit, and he had a big plastic nose on as well. It was incredible.
It was just, oh my god, it was hilarious.
I feel as I need to watch this now.
You need to watch it just for the skits.
Yeah,
really.
just
skip
for these-
them.
I was going to say I'll
matches.
skip the matches apart from maybe the X Division
Honestly,
one.
Yeah,
Some good matches
go
here.
that. So with that, we come to the main event of the evening. We have a 6 sides of steel tag match. So it's just a cage match, isn't it? But obviously there's 6 sides rather than 4. And we've got what they call it at this point, is it Beer Money?
America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted, which is James Storm and Chris Harris against Christopher Daniels and Elix Skipper.
Better known as Triple X.
He's the manager in Applebee's now, isn't he?
Christopher
Elix
Daniels.
Skipper.
Oh, yeah,
Elix
Skipper, that makes
Skipper.
more sense, yeah.
21 minutes, highly rated by Big Dave.
Oh, this is a good match, though, wasn't it?
Oh my fucking god, this was good.
I'll let you boys take it away. Does
Oh.
Elix Skipper do the thing where he walks on the cage and does a Hurricane Rana?
Yes, he
Yes.
fucking does.
That looks incredible. That's incredible.
It was because it was only a thin cage.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
It's
But
a really.
it's a tall cage. Not taller than WWE's cage. It was a good cage. I appreciate a good structure. That was
It's
right up
like the width of the blue cage.
there. Yeah.
It's that sort of width, isn't it?
So
Again-
the stipulation was the losing team has to disband.
Yes.
So it was like stakes,
Right. Okay.
big stakes. That's why it went on. It went on last because it was just fucking
Nuts.
quality match. Yeah.
Do you know what this would be again? Big Dave gave this 4 3/4.
Yeah.
I don't know why I ain't giving it 5 stars, but when you look at the names, I remember Chris Harris and James Storm being really, really.
This
good
was the
for
time when
tag
it was
team.
really hard to get a 5-star match from Dave.
Right. Okay. It
Yeah.
kind of makes more sense as to what happens in the next pay-per-view as to why these two are together as well. But
It's
What
quite,
happens
it's quite a good promo going into this match. It's,
what happens then?
it's been 17 months in brewing, because in the previous tag cage match, Elix Skipper climbs out the ring, and then Harris and Storm pin Christopher Daniels. So then it's been brewing for a year and a half. They're finally getting a rematch. That's basically the VT, I think.
Mhm.
It's in a nutshell.
But it made
Um,
it feel like a really big deal, considering
yeah.
you didn't even. Yeah, you didn't even know. I mean, it was just because the weird how the stipulation got added because it was just us to go down. You know what? Do it again, but this time one of you breaks up. But it felt like a really big deal the way they put it over. It was a good video package compared to the one that they had earlier in the show. So that much.
I'll be honest, I've written hardly any notes about this because I was just enjoying the match.
To me, that says you're enjoying a good match. If you're not really writing much about it, you're enjoying it.
It took about 2 minutes, if that, for Christopher Daniels to get busted open, and there's just blood everywhere.
Oh, there was blood. Like the canvas was like an absolute stare on
What
it.
busted him open? Was it intentional or unintentional?
Um,
Like,
I don't remember. I don't think it was.
did he mean to blade? Or
I think he
was it
just went into
some-
the cage, didn't he? I don't
Yeah.
think
Right.
it was like a big spot where, like, I don't think it was intentional, just because I don't think they made a big deal of the spot where it happened. I think he just got thrown into the cage and then it was the Corey run.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of
Um,
like when, for example, Brock elbowed Randy Orton's head to a pulp. That sort
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah. Right.
Although I think Brock meant to do that, didn't he? That was
Yeah.
part of it, wasn't it? But
But
a bit like,
Alan-
oh no, you know when Brock went into the post at 31
yes.
and just all of a sudden he was just,
Yeah.
good blood everywhere. It's a bit like that.
Fair enough.
so
Fair
one thing I didn't really understand about this match, it's a tag match in a cage, so
Yeah.
obviously tagging each other out, and then suddenly it's just a tornado tag.
Suddenly just starts. Yeah.
So,
I don't- yeah.
started as tag in and out and then went on it. To me, if you're doing it in a cage match, it should be tornado.
Yeah.
That,
Started off as a normal tag match.
Yeah, you'd think it
Was-
would be. from the
was it
beginning.
over the top or was it pin and submit and out the door?
Yeah.
I think you could just. I don't think it was a door. Was it a door?
No, they want a door. No, they want a door.
Just pin and submit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can climb out, obviously. if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't write any notes for it just because I was just enjoying the
Nope.
match. Basically, everyone gets busted open apart from Elix.
Yeah. There's some
just-
handcuffs at the beginning.
And
What
at the
do
end.
we think then
Yeah.
of the tag teams themselves? We'll start with Chris Harris and James Storm. What do we think of those two as a pairing?
They were quite good, weren't they? But it was
Yeah.
because they were when I was kind of sort of trying against TNA ages ago when it was on like the wrestling channel. They were like the two, weren't they? And then obviously it was a big deal when Chris Harris went to WWE.
Yeah, and he flopped, didn't he?
Braden Walker. He had like a month on ECW, and then we just never saw him again. I don't really think we saw him.
He signed.
He was
in
never
January.
the same again after that, was he?
No, we signed in January 08 and was released in August 08.
Yeah, I think he was only on TV for like a month of that. Like literally, might have been the August or July.
And he,
but he was just really out of shape when he got on. Although he looked it because the attire they put him in.
It was July, and he beat Armando Estrada.
Yeah, and then he just looked out of shape, and I was like, oh, fucking hell. But then his career never seemed to recover. Whereas James Storm obviously started tagging with Bobby Roode and became Beer Money.
Yeah, Beer Money was great.
I remember
and then Beer Money ended up eclipsing America's Most Wanted in the end, didn't it? Like
Beer Money were on and off for a while.
Yeah,
like they started off in 08, then split in 11, so they were there as a tag team for 3 years. Which, apart from the New Day and maybe the Hardys, I can't remember sort of longevity of tag teams that have for that long. I mean, Edge and Christian as well back in the day, I guess, and the Dudleys. But other than that,
Edge and Christian were together 3 years.
Well, there we go then. And what's that? That's 3 years, isn't it? But then they came back as well. What I mean, is that not just a tribute to them two as well as the tag team for being money at that point?
Yeah, I think credit to James Storm for being in 2 of the best tag teams.
Yeah,
but...
he obviously works better in a tag team than on his own, I guess.
Yeah, I think James Storm. Yeah, he was never a big star, was he? But he was a good tag team wrestler.
Do you think same could be said about Christopher Daniels?
Yes,
it's been some of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah, he has these guys. SCU. What else was he in? There wasn't one.
Daniels. I ain't got him open. Let's have a look.
He's tagged with loads of people. Though.
Yeah.
He's one of them people that I think just does well in whatever he's put in as well, doesn't he?
Great, one of the greatest of all time, I'd say. He's very underrated.
He's very underrated. Like I say, I feel as though WWE should have tried to get him at some point.
They did. They had him in developmental, and Russo wanted him to be the higher power, didn't he? Right. But Vince was like, he's too small.
Wrestled a couple of matches on Heat, as did AJ Styles.
Yeah. Sorry, what I'm all meant is once he'd established himself. Yeah, you know, like that. He
seems like the type of person who would end up. I don't think he will now because I think he's AW now, but I think he's the type of person who ends up being a coach in NXT now. I think.
I'm quite glad he didn't go to WWE.
Yeah, I don't think he would have made it. I think he'd be one where he'd be lamenting his early release. To be honest, nothing because of his performance, just because I don't think they would have got him.
No, I don't think they would.
Or they'd have like a series of really good.
They would have turned him into Curryman permanently.
Yeah.
I think again he's very good. You've got 3 really, really good people in this match. I mean, Skipper as well, very good, very, very good. Yeah. I think he's very underrated as well as a performer. And it trained in the power plant, but his career only lasted 10 years, 99 to 2009.
It's more than most of the big ones, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he was at WCW for a year. Then he was in WF apparently.
Really, Skipper.
Skipper made his debut early into Invasion, a member of the Alliance, and then he went to Heartland Wrestling Association, which was developmental for 9 months, then was released.
Yeah.
And then ended up in TNA in 2002 and left in 08.
Yeah, there was so after the Hurricane off the top, which was
just insane,
the fucking best spot, because I was like, oh my god, he nailed it, and then. Daniels did an elbow drop off the top, but he looked very nervous, didn't he? I thought, compared to the fact that Elix Skipper just fucking ran up there. And then there was like a big, what do they call it? The one that Ross always gets annoyed by the bottom guy. You big it's like a
powerbomb.
Yeah,
Tower
it's like
of Doom.
Quadruple.
Tower of Doom.
Yeah, quadruple decker powerbomb off the top as well. Daniels was at the top of there.
Just having a look what else he did.
So then Daniels gets handcuffed to the ring post or to the cage.
Yeah.
AMW win.
How did they win? Is there a double team finisher involved?
Yeah.
What's the finisher?
The one where they jump off the. Did he jump off the cage off the turnbuckle for the leg drop? Like a leg drop onto the.
Yeah, and there's the powerbomb neck breaker combo as well.
Is one holding him sort of so he's like vertical?
Yeah,
and then one does the leg drop. That's quite cool.
Triple X did it at one point, didn't they?
Yeah,
I know what you mean. I know which finish.
Was it there? Yeah, I think they used their finisher, didn't they, or something like that? The story behind it. I think.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. So what we rating it, Aaron?
5 stars.
Ooh, is that your first 5-star?
No,
it's not.
No,
If I
I give Christopher Daniels a 5-star match earlier, a few shows ago.
Yes.
Cage match against Lucha Brothers.
And our Big Metal Gorilla versus Snakefin Pants got 5 stars as well.
So what we're saying is then Christopher Daniels is just the man.
Well, it certainly seems to be.
Matches,
I'm really enjoying these. I'm keeping my Impact Plus, by the way.
Do you know what?
We're doing more of it.
Yeah, I'm happy to do more of this if it's all like this.
Yeah.
Look, so anything happen after the bell? Any closing promos, closing videos?
Just a very sad spot with Triple X in the ring, looking sad.
Right, okay. So just as a follow-up to this, then, the next month you have Elix Skipper versus Sanjay Dutt, and Christopher Daniels isn't on the card. So whether he went to have a bit of time away, I don't know.
Well, he used to spend some time in Japan, didn't he? That's how he got his old career man persona and that. I'm
just trying to have a look at what actually went on. This was 04. There's nothing really on Wikipedia apart from 2004.
Yeah.
I think he might have done some stuff in Ring of Honor maybe as well.
Yeah, because I guess if he was in Japan and this was December, then they would have had the January 4th show, wouldn't they? So he might have gone over there and did a bit.
Yeah, I think he went to Ring of Honor in summer of 2005. Yeah. So whether he's something gone on or not behind the stage, I don't know. But I liked Elix Skipper as well. What I saw of him in the wrong pay-per-view, I thought he looked very good. I think is when you look at the card, there's some big names on there and some underrated talents as well that maybe don't get the recognition that they deserve.
No, I would agree with that. I thought it was just a solid. I really wish TNA had made it. Well, I guess we've got AEW now, haven't we? But it felt different.
It did.
TNA at times, other than the stupid pin stuff, which actually was quite hilarious at the end.
But the thing is, the thing is, from what you've told me, it actually sounds funny. It sounds like it breaks it up in quite a nice way, where it's not. Yes, it's ridiculous, but there's enough of it for it to be funny.
I guess the difference as well was it wasn't the top stars doing it.
Yes, because
so it wasn't like
you don't have Daniels and Christopher.
Yeah, they were just
Christopher Daniels and Elix Skipper.
It wasn't like fucking Kevin Nash dressed up as Vincent Man, or you know what I mean? Like it was just a daft skit, which I guess makes a difference.
The thing is, like I say, it's one of them things by the sounds of it that they did it right. They didn't do it too much. They didn't do it too little. And yes, it was funny, but it broke up the wrestling in between. It just gave you that little bit of a break in between the matches to get you, just to give you a little bit of a rest. Because from what we've talked about tonight, there sounds like there's been a lot of high flying action, and you need a bit of a rest, don't you, in between those sort of matches? And it sounds like this was a perfect mix for it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Yeah, it was like a good WCW show, actually. Yeah, but the main event was just WCW. The main event would have been the match before.
Yeah, I was
going to slow moving old guy match, wouldn't it? But it's kind of cool that they put this match at last.
I was going to say one thing I picked up on when we do WCW, the main event is always 1 star. Because it's just always the pits. It's always the absolute pit.
No, that's just Dave Meltzer not knowing what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Well, I think it doesn't match Dave. It doesn't match Dave's style, does it?
No. Yeah. But it's quite nice for them to finish on something where it's quite high flying, and it leaves you with a nice buzz, doesn't it?
It was like an NXT takeover style main event sort of thing, like when they tag matches and stuff up in the end. It was like that. It was just. Wasn't necessarily the biggest match going into it, but it was just they knew it was going to be the best match. So it's like, let's put it on last.
To be fair, I'd have taken that or the Sabian Petey match as the main event.
Which one's your match of the night then?
Main event for me.
Main event,
yeah.
But very close.
Exhibition title match was very close, yeah.
As was the 6-man tag, that was very close as well. Not quite up to the standard of them two, but
yeah. Worst match of the night?
Oh, the fucking Johnny B. Bad tag match. Yeah. It was just, God.
See, I think
the best match tonight was Vince McMahon versus the
See, I think it's quite nice that you've got a few candidates for best match of the night, and you're not struggling to think of one, and you've got one in mind for your worst match of the night. And again, you're not struggling. You want to struggle to think of a worst match of the night, but it's good that you've only got one rather than you could pick a few. Because sometimes we do get those sort of things, don't we? And then you struggle to pick them.
It was a nice number of matches as well because it was a full 3-hour show.
Yeah,
but it was a nice number of matches. Like I would have appreciated an odd short match because I do like the whole, not necessarily squash, but like a Brock Goldberg 5 minutes high intensity is over kind of thing.
We could have done that. Taking out the Johnny B. Bad match.
Yeah, I do appreciate some of those types of matches, but it was good.
So if we're going to give it an overall rating, what are we saying? Lou, you go first.
Well, backstage skits included. I think it's got to be a solid 11 out of 10 for me.
Outstanding. Backstage skits not included.
Probably like I'll still give it like a 7. No, an 8. Let's give it an 8 out of 10. I'm feeling generous.
Oh,
Aaron,
I thought I was being like too generous. I was going to go a solid 8.5.
Yeah.
To be fair, it sounds like you both enjoyed it, and that's what you want from a wrestling show, isn't it?
It was just
that's what you want.
I like a bit of this old school TNA. It felt different, didn't it? It felt very different from, because I know we cover a lot of WWE and WCW mainly.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, when you watch
this
a
felt
lot of
very
WCW and WWE, it's got the same sort of build, hasn't it? Same sort of pace about it, and that everything's roughly in the same thing, sort of time.
It felt
zones
like
and
a genuine alternative product, which I guess is like the downside of when the Bischoff and Hogan era, whoever was in charge of that,
was that 2010?
Yeah, it felt at that point. It just felt like a WWE, didn't it?
Yes,
to an extent.
I think a lot of people say that was the worst part of it, and that's what
I enjoyed.
It's enjoyable.
You watched a lot of it, didn't you?
It didn't feel like an alternative. It felt like a very similar product to WWE's.
Yeah.
Whereas this just felt like, it was wrestling, but then the fucking Jeff Jarrett nonsense, which I could do without. It all felt like a different product, really.
But it sounds like there wasn't overly Jeff Jarrett as well.
If he had the balls, they would have made the X division the main division. Just had that. It's like, whatever you wanted, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there we go then. On that note, X division should have been the main thing on TNA.
Yeah, it's different, right? That's what you need.
That's what you want.
That's what everyone talks about, though, isn't it? You know, when you look back at no one thinks all those classic Jeff Jarrett matches.
I was going to say, if you mention TNA, everyone talks about
that's what I mean.
X division. So you're right. Yeah. You are right. So with that in mind, then, gentlemen, where can we find you? Lou, you go first.
You can find me at Lou Markham everywhere. And you can also find me at twitch.tv/wrestleround every Wednesday, 7:30-ish.
Are we going to see the X division?
Well, we'll have our own division, which is called the sex division. Is too obvious, isn't it? Y division.
The chromosome division.
Yeah. Not the Y division.
And Aaron, where can we find you?
You can find me at Frankenstein91, Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find him tweeting at the Wrestling Around with the new chromosome division that's just being born right here, right now. And you can find me at Bell Nation everywhere. Thank you all for listening to this. We hope you have enjoyed TNA Turning Point 04. I may have to go watch it now.
That's good, yeah.
Because it's been sold to me because I watched the wrong goddamn thing because I'm an idiot. Ross is nowhere to be seen. He's in trouble.
He's in the guess, yeah.
So prayers and thoughts for Ross. And thank you all for listening. And we will see you. What we do next week?
Survivor Series 2001.
Right, we'll see you next week for Survivor Series 2001, where we are just before the death of WCW.
It's the end of the invasion angle.
It's the end of the invasion angle.
Sure is. So make sure you watch the right one.
Yes.
If you see snakeskin pants, you've gone too far. You've watched the wrong one again.
That's fine. So we are right at the end of the invasion. Then it is Team WWF versus Team Alliance. Who will come out on top? We'll have to find out next week. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week for Survivor Series 2001.